Ohio has a new lieutenant governor on the roster. Former Youngstown State University president and beloved Ohio State and YSU football coach Jim Tressel is confirmed by Ohio lawmakers to become the state's next lieutenant governor. Governor DeWine calling Tressel a natural leader when he nominated him as John Husted's successor. To learn more about why he's ready to tackle politics and what his goals will be moving forward, I'm joined now by Jim Tressel. Thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure, Lindsay. Good to see you.
Yes, you resigned from your role as YSU's president in 2023. Were you planning at that time to fully retire, or did you think a political role like this would potentially be in your future?
You know, I probably wasn't thinking about either of those things. I wasn't thinking about totally retiring because, as you know, Lindsay, and my wife Ellen reminds me, I don't know the word retirement. I flunked retirement, or however you want to put it. So I always wanted to remain active, helping YSU, helping Ohio State, helping Baldwin Wallace, helping all my former players and coaches, and just anyone we could help. And I had no aspirations or plans about becoming a public servant either, but I was always, as you know, very passionate about education and how it relates to workforce and economic development opportunities, and had spent a lot of time with the governor on those things, and one thing has led to another.
And how do you believe your leadership roles at the U of A and YSU will maybe help you in this new job?
You know, I think you find in life that every experience you have teaches you lessons. Some of the victories teach you lessons. Some of the setbacks teach you lessons. A lot of the different responsibilities you have give you a different perspective. And I think becoming a vice president at a university and then a president, it really broadened my scope. You know, I was so involved in athletics for 38 years. And it's wonderful. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It brings a lot of joy to a lot of people. But then having a chance to learn from a lot broader audience, I think if it weren't for those opportunities, there's no way that Governor DeWine would have reached out to me.
You've always been cheering on the Mahoning Valley. What will you do within your role as lieutenant governor to keep the state's support flowing to this part of the state?
Well, you know, I think making sure that the conversations are always inclusive, meaning every part of the state is important. Every part brings wonderful opportunities. You know, we're fortunate up there in the Mahoning Valley to have, you know, right down the road, the Ohio River, right up above us, Lake Erie, right below the ground, a lot of energy opportunities, you know, right on our highway system, something like 19% of all freight that goes in our country goes right through the Mahoning Valley. So the Mahoning Valley has a lot to offer. And, you know, what our responsibility is here in state government is to make sure that every part of the state has equal opportunities, and we're counting on each part of the state.
People have known you as university president and coach, but we've not been introduced to Tressel, the politician. And while you're not a traditional candidate, do you align yourself politically 100% with DeWine? And same for Trump. How do you two agree or disagree on issues?
You know, I probably haven't been a great student of political science, honestly. I was a math major in college and an education major. I've grown to learn a lot about Governor DeWine over the years, and what's impressed me the most is we align totally in the fact that every single person on the team, or in his case, in the state, is important. He wants every single one of our people to reach their full potential, that we need to have those services available to meet the needs in every way for every one of our citizens. Also, I think I've enjoyed the fact how highly competitive he is. You know, he wants to bring business and industry and economic development and so forth. And he's not afraid to have conversations. I've been sitting in on some of these like editorial board conversations with newspapers, and it's been like going to civics class or something. You know, I've been learning so much about it. So I don't know if I would have a great portfolio of how I've aligned politically with things. You know, I'm a believer in making sure that every single one of our citizens, you know, has those opportunities, and that our state is safe, our country is safe. I want to compete on the world stage. I want to make sure that that we're respected on the world stage, and so. But I'm not sure I would pass Political Science 301 right now. But give me about a month, and I'm going to learn a lot more about it.
Many want to know, are you considering a run for governor once DeWine's term is up?
Well, Lindsay, you and I have been around one another for a long time, and you know that I've been on my soapbox talking about when I was a coach. We asked our players to focus on the moment and not think about, 3 games from now or the rival games coming, or am I going to the NFL? And I asked myself to think the same way. I was given great advice when I was a young graduate student at the University of Akron, and they said, keep your mind and your rear end in the same place. And I've tried to follow that for the last 50 years when I first got that advice in 1975. And the only way I can be successful is stay focused on trying to be the best complement to the governor, me on a project, to try to be the best project leader, to be the best collaborator. And, when people ask, do you aspire for anything beyond this? I got to find out if I'm any good at this first before I start aspiring.
All right, Jim, thank you for joining us here on 21 News at 5.